Experience it on FS1.
Welcome to Winnipeg. The Octagon has braved the frigid Canadian winter air to bring a hot Fox UFC Fight Night to this MMA-hungry crowd in the UFC's second visit. There is our main event. Former champions Robbie Lawler and Papaya Dos Anjos clash for a chance to close in on another title shot. The FS1 UFC Fight Night weigh-in show starts now. Hello everyone and welcome to Manitoba's capital and largest city, Winnipeg. I am Karen Bryan alongside my esteemed analyst, UFC Tonight host Kenny Florian, reigning, defending welterweight champion of the world, Tyron Woodley, and reporter extraordinaire Megan O'Leary. And Megan, there was some drama this morning at the official weigh-in. What happened?
Yeah, there certainly was some drama. Well, Josh Emmett missed weight. He was over by 2.5 pounds, and there was some drama whether that fight with Ricardo Lamas would happen at all. Emmett was fined 30% of his purse. All of that goes to Ricardo Lamas. He said no one's more disappointed he missed weight than him. He's just very grateful that Ricardo Lamas still accepted this fight. But then a flyweight bout was scrapped between Tim Elliott and Pietro Menga. Menga did not weigh in at all, so that fight was removed from the card.
All right. Well, unfortunate news there, but Tyron, we do have a banger in our main event, Robbie Lawler versus Papaya Dos Anjos. Why is this the kind of fight to headline a fight night?
You know, Robbie is the fighter's fighter for all the guys that like to watch it. He don't say much on the microphone, but he lets those 4-ounce glove and his fight talk do all the talking in the octagon. You think of RDA, he's like the Terminator when he's on all cylinders. This matchup, if these guys are both on full force, is a crazy matchup.
Yeah, these are guys that are two former champions, high pressure style strikers, guys who have throw a lot of volume, have a lot of different weapons. Can't wait for this one.
And of course, they are looking for a shot to get to Tyron's belt. Tyron did take it from Robbie. We'll see what happens. Right now, though, it is time to get to our ceremonial weigh-ins. John Anik is on stage and ready to go with our fighters, so take it away, John Anik.
What's going on, Winnipeg? Great to be back in the bag. Thank y'all for coming out. Octagon Girls 5 wide today. Ariani is here. Brittany, Chrissy, Vanessa, and Brooklyn is with us as well. Greatest matchmakers in the world, Sean Shelby and Mick Maynard. All right, let's get things started. We begin with our lone UFC Fight Pass prelim. It is in the UFC welterweight division. Jordan Young Gun Meehan versus Eric the Tiger Silva. First fighter to the scale, Eric Silva.
Last fight didn't go his way. Brazil's Eric Silva stated he feels no pressure going into this one. He said he's focused on the really positive camp that he had. He actually brought in fighters from all over Brazil in order to emulate his opponent, Jordan Meehan. He also said he's drawing extra inspiration from his son for this one tomorrow night.
And his opponent gets set for his 42nd pro fight, the Alberta native, Jordan Young Gun Meehan.
Jordan Young Gun Meehan. Speaking of emulating fighters, I've brought him in for several training camps. Roy McDonald, Carlos Condon. This kid is an amazing striker.
169 for Jordan Meehan.
Not only that, he's just an amazing martial artist. Part of the reason why he left the sport, it lost the savor that he once had, the Bushido spirit. Now he's back. I'm excited to see this matchup.
And on fight night, he's kind of a supersized welterweight, too. He's
big
a big
kid.
guy.
Absolutely.
All right, now the FS1 UFC Fight Night prelims. First up in the middleweight division, Alessio Manzona Kiriko versus Olawale, the Holy War Angel Bamboche.
Well, we got the Holy Warrior coming out, representing his native country with the flag. He's known for KO. Speaking of, all 6 of his victories are by KO in the first round. So if he's not knocking you out, brother, he's not trying to waste time. So I'm excited. He's always going out there trying to put on an exciting fight for the fans. As you see, he's blinging right now. Maybe I need to borrow one of those necklaces from Kim Flo.
184.5 for Olawale Bamboche.
Tyron acting like he doesn't have one of those
necklaces. He threw me off, man. He threw me off with the bling.
Well, there is Alessia, who fights out of Rome, Italy, which is pretty cool because there really hasn't been too many pro MMA fighters that have represented Italy in the UFC. He actually played American football and trained mixed martial arts in the offseason to lose some weight. And he said he couldn't stop training, and the rest is history. He has 4 knockouts and 4 submission wins, so definitely a guy like to finish fights.
Oh, he got the fist out. You know, he spent a little time at Duke Rufus's camp as well, trying to fine-tune some of those skills. So let's see what happens in Octagon tomorrow.
All right, next up in the lightweight division, John the Bull Makdessi versus Abel Killa Trujillo.
Abel Trujillo wanted this fight with John Makdessi, and to say he's confident would be an understatement. He's calling this matchup a gimme fight for him. Ooh. He's saying this is an easy victory. He's actually predicting a first-round finish, but Trujillo said if it doesn't get done in the first, certainly it will get done in the second.
5.5 for Abel Trujillo.
That's risky.
Oh, yes, and he said John Makdessi, he knows that Makdessi doesn't like to be pressured, so he's going to go out there and fire on all cylinders.
Well, there is John Makdessi, who was a former training partner of mine when he was over at TriStar in Montreal. He's been training with Duke Rufus as of late, as we were talking about Tyron, and Duke says he wants to bring out that karate and taekwondo style out of him more, as you said, Tyron, on UFC tonight, and he wants Makdessi to really use his footwork and be a sniper from the outside. John has pretty decent takedown defense, and I think he's going to need it against Trujillo tomorrow night.
Official weight for John Makdessi.
Okay, we let Paul Felder in. Makdessi trying to come through. Olawale trying to come through. Come on, guys. We're trying to take my hidden secret.
Taking your pad time.
Hate to tell you, Tyron, but Duke Rufus is not really so much of a secret anymore.
Just saying.
Nordine Taleb versus Danny Hot Chocolate Roberts.
There is the Liverpool, England native, Danny Roberts, who transitioned over to mixed martial arts at age 23. Transitioned over from boxing. He actually had almost 40 fights as an amateur boxer. Has 4 first-round finishes and 5 submissions as well, so he can get it done on the ground.
The official weight for Hot Chocolate.
He's won 8 out of his last 9 fights and wants to be seen as a hero to his new baby boy.
And his opponent, Canada's own TriStar trained Nordine Taleb. I wanted to call him Talib, but I know Megan was going to kick that song off, and I didn't want to break focus. But yeah, this guy's been known to be an amazing training partner. Has some great rounds, as Kenny said, with GSP and Rory McDonald, and everyone has been waiting for this type of moment where he can showcase those skills.
Official weight for Nordine Taleb.
Now my question is, he's training at TMT Thailand. Is that the money team, Thailand? Did Floyd Mayweather go out there and start up a team?
He's everywhere now.
And you know it.
And you know it.
And we failed to recognize Mr. Hot Chocolate is his nickname and Twitter handle. Ken Flo, I'm surprised you let that slide through.
There's some quality nicknames
Hot
on this card, by the way.
I thought I was sitting next to some Hot Chocolate.
Chad the Disciple of Breeze versus Galore Bull Vando.
Galore Bufando is a 2-time kickboxing world champion. He's won 5 of his last 6, with 4 of those wins coming via knockout. But his UFC debut, which was his last fight, as he shows off his kicks.
That was 11 kicks in 2 seconds.
Wow, that's good. His debut is going to be really hard to top. I don't know if you guys remember, but he faced Charlie Ward, and he pushed Ward off of him so hard that he actually was a knockout via push. He crashed into the canvas.
That's right.
So if that's his debut, we can only imagine what he's going to bring to the octagon as he continues to get better.
The Disciple Laprise.
Well, there's another good striker right there, Chad Laprise, and the key to his game really is his footwork. If he's sticking and moving, he'll be extremely difficult for anyone to beat in that division. That's when he's really at his best. Chad is a very smooth striker,
official weight
has 7 knockout wins, probably best known here in Canada for winning Tough Nation.
T-Wood, giving any thought to the Bufando Fro?
I mean, his name is Galore, so I mean, maybe we can find hair galore.
Next up in the UFC,
some more.
I'm saying you can pull that look off, I think.
You caught me on the fly, but I messed that one up.
Versus Darren the Dentist Stewart. First fighter to the scale, Darren Stewart.
The English Englishman Darren the Dentist Stewart steps in to face Julian Portes on short notice in place of Vitor Miranda. He's really hungry for his first UFC victory, but this week started out with a canceled flight from London to get here in Canada. But he said, listen, that doesn't change a thing for me in terms of the outcome of this fight.
185.5, the official weight for the Dentist. And his opponent making his UFC debut, please welcome Julian Portes.
Well, Julian Portes, yes, he is making his UFC debut, but he was found on Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. And from Megan O'Leary, my inside source right here, says he's loved to get back. He did not get a chance to here in the past with some of the cancer patients, but he wants to go back as Santa Claus and do that for the kids. So that's something you won't find on the stat sheet. He's looking to go out there and make it an amazing debut in the UFC.
He's been working out at the UFC Performance Institute. I don't know what he's doing up on stage. He's tons of fun. Great sense of humor, that guy.
Oh, brings out the dab.
A lot of moves.
See, I thought his opponent was Marcus Brimage for a quick second. Trying to switch up a haircut and slide back in.
And our featured prelim on FS1 in the UFC light heavyweight division, the Killa Gorilla, Jarrett Cannonier versus Jan Blachowicz.
Jan Blachowicz, I do not think he's going to be out there breakdancing and playing around. This guy means absolute business. 6 first-round finishes, 5 of them by KO, 8 submission wins, and not to mention, he is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
He is the underdog in the fight tomorrow at a plus
205.5, the official weight for Jan Blachowicz.
He didn't give us a dab, but he did kind of twitch his left side of his lip. Maybe that's
in the world,
his excitement.
Jarrett actually had his UFC debut at heavyweight and now has competed 3 times at light heavyweight in the UFC. Jarrett has very heavy hands and will look to trade with anyone in his weight class. Coming off a knockout win in his last fight after spending a few weeks training at the MMA Lab. Now with the full camp training at the MMA Lab in Glendale, Arizona, he expects to show off some more tools for this fight.
204 pounds, the official
So as
weight
I
for
mentioned,
the Killa Gorilla.
Blachowicz is the underdog. Cannonier a favorite here at minus 175 to Jan's plus 145.
And you can see Cannonier has actually talked about going down to 185. Big difference there between him and Blachowicz, yeah.
All right, that brings us to the main card for Fox UFC Fight Night. First out of the chute in the light heavyweight division, Glover Teixeira versus Misha Cirkunov. First fighter to the scale, please welcome Misha Cirkunov.
Well, there is Cirkunov, a true finisher, has won 8 of his last 9 fights and finished his opponent in all 8 of those wins. He's an excellent grappler who's very humble, works very hard, looking for the biggest win of his career against Glover Teixeira. I'm very giddy about this fight. We have 2 Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts going out tomorrow night.
Glover Teixeira.
As Kenny just mentioned, Glover Teixeira is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's also got 17 first-round finishes to his name. So he's rightfully earned that ranking as one of the best light heavyweights in the world. And he's really been working on his patience inside the octagon. He said he's still going to be himself, but more selective when throwing combos.
That is an incredibly durable fighter, too. I mean, you look at his fight with Alexander Gustafsson, it's just incredible.
And was Chuck Liddell's main training partner for years.
For the record, I never want to be known as the most durable fighter.
Oh, he's got the knockouts, too, but yeah, he can take a punch.
Feature bout in the UFC welterweight division, Santiago Gentibor Ponzinibbio versus Platinum Mike Perry.
Well, there is Mike Perry, a man that has exploded on the scene as one of the most dangerous knockout artists in the welterweight division. Not shy to trade blows in the octagon. He's certainly not shy to get in his opponent's face and talk some trap. Tyron Woodley knows all about that. He probably takes him every single minute. And he has had some of the most brutal knockout wins I've seen in the last couple of years.
Is the number 10 ranked
that Ellenberger elbow was just crazy.
Ponzinibbio.
Speaking of durability, Santiago Ponzinibbio better be durable because this is a striker's delight. Though he is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, he's known most notably for his KOs. 14 of those, 14 finishes in the first round, 5-fight win streak. One of the most notable wins is his KO over Gunnar Nelson. He's trying to crack through to the top, and try to come for the gold that I just so happen to have. So I got to keep a close eye on this bout.
Mike's been dancing over there.
He has been dancing.
170 and a half for Santiago.
This is definitely a lot of
Ponzinibbio.
people's pick for fight of the night as
I
well.
guarantee the face-off is not going to be happy.
Here we go.
I think Perry was asking for him to get right in his face.
Smelling him?
He's smelling
Whatever
him.
it takes, I guess,
Hey,
right?
whatever it takes. Maybe if he's trying to smell fear or...
Maybe.
All right, with that backdrop, we get
Maybe
to
he's
the
got no goal.
main
Who knows?
event in the UFC featherweight division. Ricardo Lamas versus Josh Emmett. First fighter to the scale, Josh Emmett.
There is Josh Emmett. His intro to the UFC was an interesting one. It was a short notice fight at 155 pounds, and it was in Holland against John Tuck. He won the fight even after suffering a compound fracture in his finger. It was a gruesome injury. I remember calling the fight. Really impressed me with his skills, though, his composure and his toughness.
148 and a half, the official weight for Josh
And I knew
Emmett,
I would see him in a big fight in the UFC one day. Tomorrow night is that night.
He's going to have to change that Twitter handle, though, since he's moved down to 145.
That's right.
Well, his opponent, Ricardo Lamas, has got incredible focus. Ricardo Lamas has had a lot of things thrown his way leading into tomorrow night's fight, and he hasn't let any of that distract him. I mean, just this morning, his opponent, Josh Emmett, missed weight by 2.5 pounds. He said, that's fine, let's still fight. A couple of weeks ago, his opponent changed from Jose Aldo to Josh Emmett, and he said, that's fine too. I just want to get in there and fight and prove my dominance in this division.
All right, Megan, so thank you for joining us here at the desk. We will see you backstage. And folks, yeah, I spoke to Ricardo just a few days ago. He's got a baby girl on the way in January, very focused, really trying to get to another title shot here in the UFC. He's currently
All right,
ranked
now
number
it's
3.
time to take a closer look at the men on the marquee, the two welterweights who will share the octagon tomorrow night in our 5-round main event. Take a look.
I have a pretty great career at lightweight. I was the first Brazilian lightweight champion.
Oh, he tagged him. He tagged him clean. Amazing performance by Papaya Dos Anjos.
But I wasn't feeling that motivation fighting at lightweight. Just too much thing for me to lose that weight. But as a welterweight, I just feel solid.
Oh! Arm triangle.
There's the tap!
Just completely ran through him on the ground. People forgot about him for a little bit. Forgot about how hard it was for him to cut that weight. Now you see him at 170, and after he beats Tarek Safadine, who's a world-class fighter, and then just runs through Neil Magny, we got a new top contender at 170 pounds, ladies and gentlemen.
I feel like I truck downhill, with no brakes. My plan is beat Robbie, get my title shot, and I'm coming for that second belt.
You learn a lot from your mistakes and your losses. It's just a good opportunity to get back and rebuild and be who I need to be.
Robbie Lawler, who won the UFC welterweight championship back in 2014, twice defended it.
That was one of the greatest championship battles in the history of this division.
Trying to remain in the mix of welterweight contenders.
I'm just going out there being me. I'm not sugarcoating anything. I'm not running my mouth. I'm just going out there having fun, fighting my hardest. I just need to go out there and train hard and whoop somebody's butt.
What he is a destroyer and a full variety of weapons to smash your face with. Every punch he throws is to knock you senseless. Kick, knockout, ruthless Robbie Lawler.
I'm just gonna keep pressing them, breaking them down, and make them quit. I come to fight, no matter what happens, I keep coming, and I'm trying to knock people out.
He's a finisher, I'm a finisher too. We both walking forward, gonna be a war. I think every fight is a fight of your life.
The fight of your life. Every fight's a title fight.
First fighter to the scale, the former UFC lightweight champion and the number 4 ranked welterweight contender, Papaya Dos Anjos.
Well, there is the former lightweight champion, Papaya Dos Anjos, a guy who has been running through everyone he's faced so far in the welterweight division.
For
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt who's known for his pressure style of fighting, sharp combos and heavy leg kicks.
Number 2 in the world at present, he is ruthless, Robbie Lawler.
Well, he ran through, didn't even get you a chance to give him his proper recognition. But ruthless Robbie Lawler, he's most notable known for his KOs, 20 of those on his record, former welterweight champion of the world. He goes out there, he puts on fight of the night performances back to back to back. He is a fan favorite. If he is on the card, you will tune in, you will watch.
Yeah, this is intensity personified.
All right, we first bring in Papaya Dos Anjos. Congratulations on another UFC main event. You've been in a lot of big spots before. Your thoughts on the eve of another huge opportunity here in the UFC?
Yeah, great opportunity. Thank you guys so much for coming over, and just looking forward for tomorrow night and have a great fight, and just having fun, and one more chapter on my life.
Thank you. All the best tomorrow, sir. Papaya Dos Anjos. All right, and here he is, ruthless Robbie Lawler. I mean, how about the pop from this Winnipeg crowd, man, when you walked out tonight? Any final words for your adoring, massive fans around the world on the eve of this big opportunity tomorrow night?
Yeah, it's a huge fight for me. This is my first fight outside the U.S., so I'm happy to be here, happy to put on a great performance for you guys. Thanks for having me.
All the best tomorrow night, sir. There he is, ruthless Robbie Lawler. It's been awesome all day. Thank you for coming out. We will see you right back in this building for the fights tomorrow night.